What is up, guys? Euclid back here with you again, and today it's going to be a short reaction video. It just got a notification, and I don't know how late it actually is, but hopefully not too late. It is going to be a reaction of the new Stalker 2 official in-game gameplay teaser that is premiered on IGN. Description says as followed, because everybody from the Stalker community, whether it be cult or classic, has been waiting for it, and it says in the description of the video, get your first in-engine look at the first-person sequel Stalker 2 and its zone through the eyes of the main protagonist, Skiff. That's interesting. As developer GSC Game World puts it, the teaser represents how the game actually feels. It says, fast-paced change of scenery, ominous landscapes, an ever-present feeling of an inevitable danger accompanied by barely distinguishable guitar soundtracks. Stalker 2 is due for release at some point on 2021 on Xbox Series X/S, Day 1 on Xbox Game Pass, and of course, PC. We're gonna go ahead and check that out today.
Das Atomkraftwerk.
I think it should be known that I had to record these on 2 separate days just because of things getting in the way and work coming up. But I wanted to go ahead and go through this video and see what it's all about. It's technically less than a minute long. I didn't expect a lot from a Stalker teaser just because we don't know a lot about it yet. But we'll go ahead and I think we're going to jump into it now. GSC Game World. It's PDA. Very cool. And of course it says Xbox. The hell is that? Series X and S. So Xbox Series X and S on PC. We're going to go through all this as we kind of slowly stem our way through the video, but let's start from the very beginning. We'll have the volume lowered a little bit, and we'll just kind of go through it, I think. We could manipulate the speed. Let's do that. So seeing GSC Game World is a very big deal because that's where the original Stalker came from. And for those of you who I know, many of you that follow me on my server and already follow me, are into the series. As you can see here, and I know it's kind of painful to watch in the slow, but it allows me to talk a little bit about it. Right here, this scene is the first thing. First of all, he's walking out of an unknown area inside this large building that may be some sort of apartment complex or school. And the first thing I notice is all the trees and everything. But the first thing I see is, just like with many Stalker games, is the destroyed military vehicle that you see right here. Looks like some kind of APC or some kind of military troop transport, and it has a Soviet look to it. I mean, it looks like a Soviet troop transport or anti-infantry armored vehicle. So that was interesting to see. But then look at the trees. They're obviously being pushed by something, so that leads me to believe 2 things. One is more likely and one is way less likely. And if you actually look, is that the gun of the APC? What if that was the turret? If the turret got thrown through the building, that would be interesting. Guys, I actually think that was the turret. Okay. So that's what I'm noticing here, is obviously the trees are being pushed. So, one thing that is likely and one thing that is less likely. The less likely of the two, I'll get it out of the way, spawning of the zone. Wouldn't make sense for this time frame because I imagine Stalker 2 is going to be a sequel, not a prequel. So it's going to be taking place afterwards, which means obviously the spawning of the zone is further away than it was even in the modded storyline. Looking at it now, what I see is it looks like some kind of a mission going off. Sirens might be going off, trees are being pushed aside, and I mean, it is GSC's Stalker universe. Okay, not here. Very symbolic picture for any Stalker fan, because let's be real, especially for those of you like me who are English-only speakers and keep saying they're going to learn but don't because they're lazy like me. What I see here is a classic symbol of the Stalker series, and that is, of course, a standard wooden acoustic guitar. Nothing super special about the design. I'm actually ashamed to say that I can't see what the design name is, but we all recognize it. Let's just face the fact that Stalkers learn to use to use acoustic guitar and play it for their friends, because it's not exactly the easiest job what they do. They are criminals. They are breaking into a quarantined government zone by the Ukraine military, and they're just kind of breaking the law. At the end of the day, some of them, at least a few of them, it probably bothers them when you think about it. I'm going to dive deep into this because really that's what we should be doing. The video is short, so we have to make up for it in some way. But I like that it's short. I like that we're not being spoon-fed gobs of stuff before stuff actually comes out. And I would be okay if the game was delayed further just to make sure it was right. But those are the first two things that I noticed. I noticed this banner on the left here, which looks like it's it was hanging at one point, but now it's not. I noticed the lights look like they're missing bulbs. I noticed ripped curtains kind of flowing in the breeze and stuff like that. The fire honestly looks pretty good. It looks a hell of a lot better than it ever did in a Stalker mod or a past Stalker game. That's really cool to see. But another thing that I noticed when looking here, just look. You'll notice the backpacks, obviously. So what happened? That's the first question I want to ask myself. What actually happened to the group of men and or women that were lodged around this campfire? What happened to where they left their camp, they left their backpacks, and they left their guitar, and they left their bedrolls, you know, just sitting around? What happened to where they just abandoned their equipment? Did they go upstairs? Is this your camp? Is your friend gone? Were you coming back to your camp, and then this flashlight here that we're about to go to in a second, did something happen to him? We don't really know. But what we do know is that it's trying to build that familiar Stalker atmosphere with some familiar music. I'm gonna actually, thanks to my good friend Noob in my Discord server, who was pressuring me to get this done. I had parts of it done. I had to redo a lot of different stuff, make sure that it was right, because my desktop audio is not picking up. I've seen some of this already, so I apologize if it's not genuine, but I'm also not going to fake it. We're just gonna talk about what we know and what we can see, and maybe what we can kind of assume will be coming for us in the future. So far, that's what I see. I want to know what's upstairs. I want to look all around the area, but I know that this is a scripted trailer, and I would find nothing but empty walls and blanket scenes. And I also really like the cinders coming off the fire. So now you see, look at that, guys. So there's a flashlight. We know that part, okay? Now we're going to go slower. That sounds awful. Did you guys notice that in this flashlight's light, there's a photo? It looks like a photo of two people. It looks like a silhouette. If you really look in there, I mean, honestly, I'm tempted to just make it bigger on my edited video. So I'm just going to do it for you. Look at that photo right there. You can see it. It's right there. Screw it. I'll make it bigger. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Was this guy holding on to it in his last moments? There's an emission going on. Okay, an emission. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong because of my accent, but because of that emission, it's possible that it's not just human stalkers that are lodged in this building due to the storm. What if there are other creatures that may potentially not be able to survive an emission, that other sentient light? It could probably be like the creature that's throwing the chair. That's what I'm getting to. YouTube's mad at me because I keep slowing its video down. What do you want me to do? YouTube. YubTub is being a dick. We're going through the video anyways. So that's what we notice here. That almost looks like a person in the corner. So we're going to backtrack. There's probably something back here because a chair gets thrown at the main protagonist, or at least I believe it is, who is Skiff, by the way. But yeah, that's the first thing that I am noticing. So that's that's really all we can tell. Obviously, I love seeing this, the GSC Game World symbol, which has not changed. It's stayed in its classic form that we all recognize. It's really cool to see that. It's really symbolic because arguably Stalker 2 would not be something that's actually going to happen if it wasn't for the absolute metric shit ton of amazing modders out there working on Call of Chernobyl, Anomaly, Dead Air, Lost Alpha, and all these, whether you like one more than the other, all these great mods that people put out there. Without that love and the people's replayability for this really old game that people just can't get enough of, I personally follow Provac on YouTube. P-R-O-V-A-K. I believe it is. Apologize, Provac, I'm saying that wrong. He's always got a great build that he's just putting together and saying, here guys, it's basically Anomaly, but way souped up. God, it's fun playing on Iron Man mode. I like how it works. The one thing that I noticed the most about Stalker 2, or that can be said arguably, is it wouldn't exist if people's demand for a sequel wasn't so great. Arguably the first games, though great, they resulted in a cult following. They weren't huge hits until way after. So it didn't benefit anybody later on because now most people can download a standalone mod and not pay for the game at all. So this game could be GSC Game World's re-entry into the AAA market. Either way, I'm excited for it. I will say that I'm not as excited for it as I was for Metro Exodus. 4A Games, main members of their team came from GSC. I see their passion. So I better see the passion here. But you gotta give everybody a chance. GSC Game World hasn't made a Stalker title in a very long time. They could very well come forward with something amazing. We don't know. Let's go through the trailer one last time and we'll wrap it up. So obviously you see... I'm going to provide a link to this music thanks to my good friend Noob, our Chad Liquidator and main admin and mod from the server. Yep, I think that is the barrel of that APC there. So there's a mission going off, and there's a storm, looks like. You can see the wind hurtling and blowing. And it looks like a little lantern there, and several photos and or books. But I can't really tell. And then he pulls out his PDA, and this doesn't look like the round PDA. Okay, so that right there, and I know this because of the post I saw, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know how to speak any kind of Cyrillic or spell it out. This is PDA 2, and this I believe is user or operator. That is skiff, and that says loading. Now I don't know what that says. So if one of you could be kind enough to tell me what that right there says. Dude, the flares, or not flares, but the cinders make it almost look like there's something behind that chair throwing it. Okay, there's the chair. What is that? There's something behind it. And honestly, it looks like it's got a cloak of some sort. Honestly, when you really look at it, it looks like a burr. That's what I'm getting when I look at it. So I don't know. Obviously, it's a teaser. We're not supposed to know everything from it. So I'm not really concerned. What I do know is that it's good that they're not revealing a lot about the game yet. It's good that they're not actually divulging a lot of things. And a lot of people say they're impatient. You're just bored because you're at home all the time. So you can complain, but it really wouldn't get you anywhere. You're not creating the game, so be patient and wait. As for Stalker 2, I'm really excited for it. I have no plans to get it on the Xbox, but it will be available on the Xbox Series X and S, and as well on PC. I don't know anything as far as PlayStation is concerned, but that being said, guys, that was our reaction video to the Stalker 2 IGN presented teaser trailer that's supposed to represent how it feels. They're teasing us as to how the world is going to be. This was obviously a scripted trailer. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, leave a like. If you did not, leave a dislike for the reason why. If you want to see more videos like this and others in the future, feel free to subscribe to my channel, as well as turn on the notification bell located beside the subscribe button. And if you want to follow me on social media, I'm pretty much abandoning all their platforms. Instagram doesn't give a shit about our privacy and wants to watch us while we're doing private things with their cameras. And I don't really have a need for Facebook anymore, so I won't be posting on there as far as my YouTube-related Facebook page. So really, the best bet is to follow me on Twitter. Last but not least, if you guys want to support me directly, become a patron on my Patreon account. We recently received a new patron who is also a fellow YouTuber and streamer, and he goes by the name of Legacy11, and I really appreciate his support as well. So Legacy, I've kind of chit-chatted with you for a little while. I was surprised to see your name there, so it's really appreciate the support, man. It goes an absolute long way, and I will try to make sure that the continued content is worthy of that support, as well as our other patrons who have been with me. The one who's been with us the longest, Daniel Cutforth, thank you, and my good friend from the Balkans, Miha. I appreciate your all support, and I appreciate all you guys have done for me. It's a hell of a good motivator, especially when I demonetize the channel, because ads are bullshit, and I don't really believe in waiting through 30 seconds of garbage that is uninteresting. I watch enough Hulu with the cheaper account to know that ads are annoying. So, with that being said, guys, this was the Stalker 2 in-engine gameplay teaser trailer for Stalker 2. I am Euclid, and I will see all of you in the next video.